How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to the Comics Lounge. Today we're going to be talking all about print comics versus digital comics. Why, in a world of all things digital, do we still buy print comics? Let's get into it.
Nice Venom shirt.
Thank you. Got the all the Venom swag on today,
Very nice.
There you go. Caleb Miller, third host.
I wish.
Just to reiterate, our giveaway is happening August 30th. Right now we've got a box full of a bunch of like little gifts and stuff just to give away. It's going to be valued at over $100 in comics, apparel, and just other fun stuff pops. So after all the digital comics and whatnot, and I mean, there's Marvel Unlimited, there's free stuff where you can find the same comic for free all over the internet. I'm not going to give away websites and crash them down, but you know what I mean. It's possible if you really search. Why do we keep buying print besides just supporting local comic shops?
I guess I'll field it first this time. Well, one, the main point is, like you said, support local comic shops. There's nothing, at least when it comes to book-wise, there's nothing like actually having it in your hand. And you're talking to a guy that owns 4 Kindles and a tablet, all of which have hundreds of ebooks on them. I do have graphic novels, everything in e-form. But collection-wise, and when it comes to main authors I like, main characters I love to collect, there's nothing like having the physical copy in your hand, turning the pages, something about the feel of the book, the look of the book, the packaging of the book once you got it. That can't be replaced with showing somebody a digital screen of it. It doesn't, and it also doesn't grow community. There's something about collecting print that still grows community. That's part of why we're all here today.
Yeah.
There's the trading aspect. There's the chase aspect. There's the first day out aspect where everybody runs to the new comic shop. There's something to be said about how physical media drives a community and brings a community together to talk about it. And I'm not crashing on digital at all, because there's something to be said for the ease of access and the accessibility to bring in new readers for digital too. But I think anyone that comes in digitally also ends up becoming a physical person with that media as well, especially once you become attached to a character.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, people will knock it, and I know that it's nothing like the old Todd McFarlane Amazing Spider-Mans, but I mean, I love the current Amazing Spider-Man run. The whole Sin Eater vibe right now, I love what's happening with it. And in all honesty, if I didn't have that book in my hands, like you said, Gary, I don't know if I would love it as much. Genuinely, it's a phenomenal book just purely for the artwork. And yeah, it might not be Amazing Spider-Man 300 where it's sitting up on the shelf at Rhino's for $500, $600, but it's a book that is sitting in my box that I'll read and over again, and that I'll say, hey, if you want to read some good Spider-Man, here's who this character is, here's who he was, here's where they got that source material for this movie. And that's kind of what I'm looking for with Amazing Spider-Man runs. Isn't purely for the value, it's so that I can really just pull out that book whenever I feel like it and just read it, and like you said, Gary, feel it in my hands.
And there's a thrill to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like
when you're holding it, there's a thrill to having it. Yeah. And also look at the online community too. Look at how sales are driven and how much the industry is supported by online auctions, Instagram auctions, YouTube auctions, the whole variant thing. Look at how much the hip hop variants have blown up in the last month.
Yeah.
Those would have never existed in digital media ever. It would have never existed.
The book that went to
Neither
the top of
neither
my
neither would
stack
have the.
is a variant.
Right. Exactly.
Just because, I mean, look at the artwork on there. It's phenomenal. And I wanted that to be the top of that stack just because I was like, okay, what book did I really get excited about when I opened it up? And genuinely, I've never read them before, but that Spider Ham was just hilarious.
Well,
And
there's a showcase element to it, you know?
exactly. But yeah,
And to touch on that, to touch on that, like as far as the showcase element, that's another thing that would be completely gone is the CGC, the old, like, I mean,
That whole
some of
wall
these old
behind you.
books. Yeah, exactly. Some of this old stuff, the artwork of it, like you're not just gonna like print off a cover if it's only online. Like to be able to put like these books in frames, to get them actually graded, to say, you know, I have this book from the 50s or what have you, that lasted through like decades and decades and decades of history, and was passed down from like my grandfather when he was a kid, or something like that. It's kind of that historical aspect of that physical item that was printed way back when. And we all have kids, and we're probably second or even third generation nerds, stuff that we got from our parents that we want to pass down to our kids, even if it's just like the love of it, and being able to like even pass down physical items like an actual comic book. This was my favorite comic book, I'm passing it down to you. Maybe it's not a really expensive one, but to them it's going to hold that nostalgia. It's going to hold a lot of that sentimental value. You're not going to get that if it's something on a screen.
Right. There's a
So
wow aspect.
as the digital world progresses, it's a whole new experience, especially for like kids nowadays, to be able to like be interested in a physical piece. I mean, it really is. It's very counterculture. You're seeing newspapers being more digital and more online nowadays. You're seeing just anything, even fine art. Fine art used to be paintings and this, that, and the other thing. Now you're seeing a lot of really awesome, albeit but digital art really blossoming and being, the big part of the market. Having that tactile physical thing, it just taps into a whole new. So to even have something like this that has kind of surpassed this, this digital monopoly, to have something like printed comic books that people are still buying, and these things are going to, fourth, fifth, sixth printings.
yeah.
That's pretty incredible still, to have something that is, it's a whole new experience that people are still not willing to sacrifice on.
Right.
But yeah, I agree what you were saying, Gary, too. Like, with the digital stuff, like I read a lot of stuff on digital books that I can't afford to buy,
Right.
physical, a lot of the old stuff. Or if I did buy it, I wouldn't want to, bust it open and be reading it, So it does bring that accessibility. Also, there are some people that they can't afford the hobby. It's $4 a book, yes, but then when you start, I mean, we all know, we all have big Rhinos bills, so it brings that accessibility also when it comes to budgetary, and I know when I've worked with like inner city kids a lot, when I was in college and stuff like that, I remember, you know, talking to them about, I'd be wearing like a shirt like this or something. And, yeah, that would obviously start like a nerd conversation. And, a lot of them, were almost completely digital, but they read a lot of like the comics, and they read they looked at the fan art, and, did the fan fiction, and stuff like that. It improves the accessibility, And just like you said, like probably when they're older, they're going to end up becoming physical collectors anyway, you know? So it's, you know, I feel like one needs the other. I
I'm
don't
just gonna
think
say
one,
that
I don't think one takes away from, like, I don't think the digital is like really hurting the physical
it's not
market.
replacing it; it's enhancing it. I think they enhance.
But that's all the
And
time that we have for today, guys. I know that we could talk
okay.
forever about this, but Gary, I'll let you sign us off.
All right. Until next time, loungers. Keep it casual.
Have a good one, everyone.
Take it easy, gents.
Bye.
All right, yeah.
See ya.